Oops, not that. Sorry. The thunder. Yeah, that would be cool, hearing the thunder. Greetings all, Shardvixen here. I'm kind of just chatting with Ashenda today. We're not really doing much, nothing. She's doing No Man's Sky over there. I've given the shout out, the address for you to go and click on it if that's the thing you want to do. Otherwise, you can hang out here with me, I guess, maybe, if I can get the thing to work. It says it's streaming, but I'm not seeing it streaming. What the frick? It says that one's doing it. There we go. Wow, that was weird. So, okay. I am just going to be exploring and doing stuff here in my new base in Palworld. I don't remember what I was doing. Yeah, we do. Get back to Palworld. You're the only one that I really do any of the... You or my daughter are the only two that I do any fighting with. Mostly I just explore. Build towers. Got a tower I built. They're not really, I was talking to somebody about it. They were like, oh, you build towers? And I said, yeah. But they're not, like, when you look at them, they're literally just stairs to heaven. Or, if, like, in Minecraft, I built stairs to core, down south, you know, whatever. Okay, so we are working on these over here. Today. Oh. So what games are you currently playing through the week? What are the ones that you're playing? Blacktail. Well, I'm just repeating it because from the people watching my stream, because I'm playing Blacktail, because Walt likes the game, so he might want to catch you when you're playing it. Hey, Feely boy, thanks for stopping by. And then Feely was over there in Shenda's too. So I was just curious, to, like, okay, so you're doing Enshrouded. You're streaming that. Not yet? Oh. Did I would have said Wednesday'd be perfect for us then to do our podcast, but the problem is Wednesdays are not good for me. So I mean, Saturdays right now would probably be literally the best time. Boy, because you had said about having it as a separate than stream. So we could do, the problem is we don't have a background. You know, like, so we don't have a setup like you do. You could put your face on it, but there's no other background that can be done. I would just, on my background, would be like whenever we wanted to be able to Google stuff or have, you know, conversations about. Yep, because, well, because my avatar is kind of, me getting my avatar up and running is pretty far on the back burner as of all the things that I have to do, because I went in and talked to somebody about my PC, and now they're like, well, it's possible your PC can't ever get on Windows 11, which, yeah, I thought that's a thing too. So if that's the case, like, I can't get it on, but I don't know if I want to spend the $200 to find out that it can't get on. I haven't decided if that's something I want to do yet, you know. Yeah. Hang on, wait.
No. I was just going to say the name of what it actually is. It's dioxin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I have to be careful what we say when I chat with Ashenda.
No. I get that. It was just one of those things. I was like, it didn't make sense.
It was bugging you?
Yeah, it just didn't make sense, and now I actually know what it is. So now I'm at least a little bit better about it.
Yeah, so you could go watch Ashenda, or you could stay here because, well, if you want to see No Man's Sky, she's doing the expedition. So otherwise, I'm just going to be exploring. That's all I'm doing is bouncing around and exploring and checking out my... Look, I got a little mushroom dude. But so I have to kind of like... I'm working on getting a way to do overhead shooting when I do my reading of my comic books and my Legos and my art. So that's kind of that thing too that I'm working on right now, because as soon as I'm done with this other journal that kind of secretly made its way in my round of things I was doing, this happens to me all the time. I'll have this plan of where I'm going and what I'm doing with things, and then out of the blue something will pop up and I'll be like, oh. I mean, I don't have to make the Lady Ed journal, but since it's something that I do well and she's having a wedding, and a wedding is... journals are good for weddings. I thought, why not give her one? But I can pop one out fast. I just take a long time for other people's because I want to make... This one's going to be pretty plain. No, they didn't change really because, well, we were just talking about how to do a podcast. Because that's one of the things that Ashenda and I have a goal for this year, is try to get a podcast up and running. So we've been trying to figure out how the format of that podcast would look like. Because it's really hard to... it's one thing to say, oh yeah, I want to do a podcast. But then when you get to looking at it, it's like, well, how am I going to work this podcast into what I'm doing? Being like I have Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays that are all hooked up, that I can't really be doing much of anything unless it's in the evening time. And Ashenda doesn't really do... she's 3 hours ahead of me, so she's not really doing that kind of the ability. I have to work around her ability rather than my ability of when I can stream. But now also, because I also have things, if that makes sense. So that's kind of what we're trying to figure out, is how we want that podcast to look. Like, what is... when we could do it. And then how, like, our background's going to be. Because my idea had been, until we could actually get look at podcasting style software, right? My idea had been to have her play a game in the background, like a really chill game. And then we could have her avatar up and me moderating chat with questions and whatnot, and it'd be nice to do interviewing style. I think we talked about maybe doing some interviews and things like that. So trying to get that, it's problematically hard to get things around because we have so much stuff going, both of us. Yeah, I guess it's the way. And then we both still have our disability, which causes problems every once in a while for both of us. Well, and then, like, Mary Lizzie wanted to join, too. But she also has some... So, how do you make a podcast with 3 women that have disabilities? And have really different setups for their time frames, too. Because Ashenda also goes into... She has appointments and stuff that she does prior to her streaming on some days. That's why she streams later in the afternoon. But her later in the afternoon is just my mid-morning or my midday. And if I don't, usually sometimes I don't get up really early because I'm having problems. Because, Walt, that wasn't really a podcast. That was kind of how we wanted to think about how that would look. So we'd been practicing it off and on. Ashenda's concept is that she thinks it would be nicer if the podcast wasn't connected to any type of other streaming. Like we came in for 1 hour and we do a podcast, and then we could do whatever we wanted on after that. Gaming Mike. I'm sorry. No, you go first. Right. It's just some of the podcasts I've seen in the past, they do that. They have a random game going on in the background, or they're searching on the internet. So it's like these two, so there's a visual thing going on besides just your avatar sitting there and talking is the concept. But I don't have a problem either or way. I really don't care. It doesn't matter to me. It's just, this is all new for me. I've never done a podcast before. I've been on podcasts, but I've never actually done one of my own. So I don't know how the setup of it should look like. Now, I was going to say, Gaming Mike does a podcast now, and he does it on, he hasn't done it recently because he's been streaming No Man's Sky, but he was doing it with 2 other people I know from the Kepnik gang, and they would do it, and then they I don't know if they pre-recorded it or if it was live on Twitch, and then they shared all the recordings on the other channels. I haven't asked him, so I guess I could ask him. That's because Walt, the Bit King. He will pass on stuff all the time, which is nice and sweet. Don't tell him that. He's like all other people. They don't like to be called sweet. You ever notice that? So some people of one gender love to be called sweet, whereas other people on the other side don't like to be called sweet. I'm just saying. Maybe it's an army thing. Because Roger doesn't like it either. He never likes people calling him nice or sweet. He gets really irritated. I'm not nice or sweet. Okay. Then stop doing nice or sweet things. That's what I say to him. Well, then stop being nice. Stop doing that, because people are going to see it as nice or sweet. Don't want to be seen that way? Don't do it. But he's not the only one. There's lots of people like that. I'd be like, oh, you're such a sweet guy. You're such a nice guy. Yay! Woo, 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 woo. Everybody will be extremely excited. Well, I mean, everybody else too. They'll be waiting for you. So... So, because, well, that's all. We're just still kind of in the planning process. Because I'm pretty sure they also want an introduction. So we got to figure out how we want to make our introduction. And then like an outro, which we can attach also, with all the places that we stream. And then, it may end up being that we don't do a podcast, and I'm not doomsaying it here, just that it ends up being more problems in the long run. After we look at it and everything, we might decide, no, we'll just go back to doing a collab where we just chat and people can come and hang out and chat, and we're doing video games, and that's it. So, I mean, that's just... like when we're talking about it, because I'm right now in the process trying to get to where I'm in doing art at least once a week. I have pretty much kept it where every Saturday evening I am writing. So I do 2 hours of writing, which doesn't get me very far, but at least then I am writing because I want to explore in making like little stick puppets of my stories. So I thought that'd be fun, but the thing is then I wanted to look for people maybe who would like to be interested in narrating them. You know, not so it's not just me narrating them or something. But I haven't decided, so we'll see what happens when when I see how the first one turns out. And if it turns out really cool, then, then I might see if other people want to chit-chat on it. Because, I mean, the thing is that a lot of people, it's time. How much time do I have to do these different things I want to do? Like, my son would be really great. He's great at doing different voices and stuff. But getting him to do them, because it's a time factor, is hard. Sometimes hard. Or people don't want their voice. Like Roger would be great for some of the more heavy, deep voices.
For what?
For my stories.
Oh, okay. You want some accents on the hood?
No. I just want the deep, deep, dark voices. The ones that put fear in people.
Okay.
The dwarf-like. I have a character that's a dwarf-like creature. I need you to do the voice. The deep down barrel voices. No, it's because it sounds different to us than it does to other people. So someone will come up to you and say, "Oh, I really like your voice," and you're like, "What the fuck? What's wrong with this person?" Because I cringe when I hear my voice. Thank you. I cringe when I hear my voice, not even over a secondary sound, just myself when I hear it in my head. So. To the headset. What are you doing over there? Oh, see, yeah, that was me. I was like, please stop, please stop, please stop. I don't want to die. Please stop, because you die and that's it. It's not even gonna. I'm gonna tell you, if you die, Ashenda, just move on. Do not, because maybe you'll do better than I did. I don't know. Where's that one? It's right below me. It says it's right below me, but I don't see it. Oh, it's not. It's in the circle. What circle? Maybe that's the river. Alright, let's go this way and see. All the better to fall to your death. To Kansas? I've been through it. But you've been up and down the East Coast. We talked about that before. So, like I said, Roger and I are planning next year or the year after a tour of East Coast. Go see his friend Unkempt in Texas. Come see you in Florida. Go up to Tennessee, see his sister and brother that are there. Oh, shit. Oh, yes, you do. You're just as beautiful. Though you did change your hair, so you don't have that vibrant red hair anymore. It's easier to take care of. Crop short hair. It's not easy to take care when you look in the mirror. Mine does that every once in a while. You know what's interesting too, though, is that you think about think about how you wore your hair like in high school, or for 10 or 20 years at one given time, right? And then you try to change your haircut, and your hair is like, no, I'm so used to doing it this way. What's that?
It came with a icing specifically for you.
What color is that?
I don't know.
Looks like a coral.
When I pulled it out, I was like, oh, this was saved for a reason.
Coral. It looks like coral.
Also, I don't know what you would do with it, but I just thought I bought my toothpaste specifically because the box was cool. Yeah.
My daughter's giving me pretty paper things.
Yes.
Hey, I didn't buy... Okay, well, I bought the toothpaste.
And then my partner's going... Roger's over there going, paper.
The other one came with my candle that Medford gave me when I was leaving.
So there's this tissue paper that I think is the exact color of what I need for my cousin's wedding. So that's going to be cool. I'm going to make some paper with that. And then she got these toothpaste that came in this box that has these ridges on the outside of it, which are very tactile. So I think that would be fun to do something with. Yeah, see?
That's cardboard that's had one side taken off.
Yeah, look at this. So this is this color.
Yeah, it's really close. It's more of a mauve.
It is, but I bet you I could get away with it.
Yeah.
I'd put it with a pink and it'll look more coral.
Yeah, true.
So I have her bridal dressed, and then I've taken all the colors. What you do is you go into your Photoshop thing. Are you still there, Shanda? You go into your Photoshop thing and do an eye drop. Yeah. And the eye drop will give you the exact colors that are as the computer reads them. So, yeah. Well, I was just saying for other people who might not know, like Cuswalt. And then that way you can come up with the colors you need for whatever project you're going to do. I think with Photoshop? Yeah. I play with GIMP all the time. So, well, it's one of those softwares that, whereas if you're really good at one, it's hard to do a different one. What was your problem with GIMP? Because it is literally designed just like Photoshop. So they say. I don't know. I haven't used Photoshop since early 2000s, so I wouldn't know anymore. When I was doing my web designing class for my job, I used Photoshop. That was the last time. Yes, I have been to school to do all kinds of stuff, of which most of it's not even useful anymore. Is that not the way life is? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, that's how I built websites in the past. But then my the company I was working for at the time was like, "Hey, we really we want all the new fancy dancy stuff, and we'll pay for it. And can you go do things?" So I went, and the new software at the time that was out was Dreamweaver, and I was all like, "So if you just get Dreamweaver and we can train some people on it, you'll be able to build yourself a website and then have somebody maintain it." Boston? No. Oh. Because Walt's been a lot of places. Kind of like Roger. They're not all fun places. Oh. Okay, it's done. New York, New York. I just watched this thing on Instagram in which they were talking about a movie that came out, My Dinner with Aunt Andre, which came out in the 80s. I have never seen it, but it has the guy that plays the pirate, I think it's the pirate in, not the pirate, but, what is he? Anyway, he's the one who steals the Princess Bride in Princess Bride. He steals her. I can't remember his name, though. Wallace something. Anyway, it's a movie that he made. Yeah, so he made a movie about where him and a friend that are playwrights and directors meet up to chat about, and one has stayed in New York the whole time, and then the other one went around the world and then started talking about the around the world. But so they talked about New York as New York being like that famous, I can't remember the name of it, there's a famous research where they put people in a prison and they tell them that the guards are prisoners and the prisoners are guards, and so that they can't really figure out who they each are. And then they study the psychological ramifications of that. But so he started saying that New York City was like that, where people don't know who is who or what in the city, like, yeah. So it was interesting because I know what he was like saying. It's like they built their own little prison, right? But then they get to where they don't really know who's really the original New Yorkers or who's invading the New Yorkers. So. Yeah, so it's weird but that was made in 1980s at the time, so it was a very interesting take on, how people see New York in the 80s, comparably to how people are seeing them now. So I'm sorry I took you off your mic, strain of characters. Like Stanford University did that study, yes. Did I like Dreamweaver? As a software, yeah. It was it was much more user-friendly than some of the software that was out at the time. I think now, because it wouldn't be worth it to buy Dreamweaver now, I don't think, and I don't even know if you can, but because places like Wix and WordPress, some of these places that offer you to build your own website, is cheaper in the long run, I think, than maintaining your own website. Because you still have to pay to put your website someplace. Yeah, you still have to find a domain hoster. So in the scheme of things, if you're paying for a domain hoster and your name, because you may not own your name either, because that's a whole thing. For 2 years, I paid for my name. I just kept my name. I never, because I wasn't using it, but I paid for my name through, GoDaddy or whatever. And once you stop paying for that name, they sell it off to somebody else. So... That's the one, because, well, thank you. Yeah, I couldn't remember the name of it. I had to read it. You had to read it. It's required in clinical psychology to read that particular research study. There are quite a few research studies that are been done that you have to read. And when you're taking a clinical psychology, which makes sense. I mean, because it's one of those things that how they did research in the 1970s is a lot different than how they do research now, because the acceptability of, or the ramifications of how the psychology can affect the research can affect your studies is a problem. Social studies, social experiments especially, because they have a way of having results and after effects that cause people more stress than what you were trying to study. Yeah, I finally gave mine up and said, yeah, whatever, take it. Yeah, I have. Yeah, I opened up. I did a website 3 years ago. 3 years ago, and then a Wild Rhymes Time website. I'm gonna go back to that one, I think, and reopen it with Wix. I just haven't got there yet, because it's money that comes out at $10 a month to maintain a website. So that's money you have to factor into when you're spending money on your hobby, if that's really something you want to spend money on. Because Discord will do it just as well. It's just that a web page, I could set it up, and we're going to have a better, like, it's going to be like you went into a museum. And that's kind of what I wanted to do, was have one where it was like you were coming into the museum. So I don't know if I want to forego that as a website, or if I want to, I could do a blog too. I mean, that I could go to WordPress and do a blog, and then my blog I could put my pictures up, and then also talk about art. Because one of the things I wanted to do, and I haven't decided how I'm doing it yet, is I want to talk about all the different types of art that's out there. And I have a lot of people who are very interested in watching that or reading about it. They wouldn't necessarily come to a stream for it, but they might be really interested in, checking it out as a video or something. They just had to go read someplace. So I have to kind of... Yeah, you do that too. I mean, there's all kinds of things you can do. You just have to have the person that can maintain it. Like, so if we were doing a blog with a podcast, the better way to do it is one time have, it's like we could share in the writing part of it, where you had the podcast, and then maybe what you did is you did the blog would be the after, this is what we talked about, da 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 da. And here's some of the things that chat said. Da 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 da. Is that what it is? Yeah. So we could have meeting minutes of our podcast and kind of review what we talked about, and then add new stuff to it as we saw fit. I mean, that's one way you could do that. As we all have. Well, probably because you and me both have done that. It's interesting, yeah. Kind of what we all have done. I had to also do minute meetings for various things. Yeah, schools, teachers, psychology, all kinds of stuff. So, cause well, my son is got a thing he's got going on for himself. He wants to start a. They are also looking to start a podcast of their own, which is going to be about D&D. He was looking to buy mics because he was talking to me about mics. And as is the example for all children and their parents, he's not really going to listen to me because he knows best. Gotta remember this about kids. They'll come back later and tell you, "Oh yeah, you were absolutely right," but I had to do it my own way, which I encourage. Everyone has to do it their own way, so I can laugh later. Yeah, Feely. So there's been, if you go back into from the 1950s to maybe 1940s on, even earlier, I don't know, but I've read from the 1940s to the 1980s. Research where they did what would be your social experiments on people to determine how the things that people do to you affect you. And then, what happened is during those time periods when they did those studies, they didn't really think about, like I said, how it was going to affect the people afterwards, because it wasn't part of the research they were doing, and they didn't really care. So, what the hell? You just sprung right up there. That was really weird. Teleported in, I guess. I like how those look, but I need you to go away from there because I don't want to engage with you right now. But yeah, so in the 1940s, they did an experiment. Maybe it was earlier. Don't quote me on this. My brain don't work so well. In which they were studying children who were left alone in cribs. Because it was already happening, children were left alone in cribs and orphanages and stuff. And so they decided to do a study on that as how that was affecting children in a long term. And the study was that they would watch those children over a period of 5 to 6 years to see if there was ramifications to them not being loved and hugged on, which there was, but now they had actual proof of it. Because there's things that we kind of can sense, right, Feely Boy, that would have, but without research, you can't really go to anybody and say, look. But even now, we live in a world where kind of people don't listen to research. So that kind of causes problems as well. But there's lots of good research out there, but there's also a lot of research that was good, but then somebody took one or two pieces of it and used it to say something different than what the research wanted to say about it, which is also interesting to me. So, kind of interesting when you think about it. Interesting when you think about it. That's what I wanted to do in my life. I wanted to be a researcher. After I built my school, I just wanted to do research. I only had one bit of math that I had a problem with, and that was arrays. I had a problem with arrays, but I mean, it's just one of those things that if I had worked on it long enough, I'd have figured it out. And I kind of understand arrays to a degree better than I did when I tried to take them in programming. Though programming's much easier now than it used to be. Oh, I know. I went in 1991. Paraphernalia. Yeah, I did the same thing. But I picked up phosphorus because there was a shield I had that wasn't working as well, so I had to have the phosphorus. So I was like, yeah, that's fine. I'll just pick this up. Well, Feely Boy, that's kind of the end result. We just need good doctors who want to help. The older you get, the more you realize that's kind of a need in life. And then it's not there, so you're like, okay. Jump, jump, jump. I'm just jumping. Jumping. Yes, they did. And they even made a show about that because, well, there's a show on Netflix about I think it's Netflix. Might be HBO. Oh, it's HBO. HBO has, and it's not HBO anymore, it's Max. But Max has, there is a whole documentary on the usage of the LSD on people in the 60s that the government did. And they have interviews and everything. It's really kind of a cool thing if you want to watch it. I don't remember its actual name. I'd have to look it up. So, but yeah, so again, and there's a lot of research that we don't even know was research until way later after, as in that one. But there's also research that was done on various chemicals used in warfare. But now they're like, whoops, sorry. Guess what? That wasn't good for you guys. So now, they have a lot of veterans they have to pay for. But that's what I was saying is that there's a lot of research that's done that wasn't, and some things weren't meant to be research when they were done. It was only later afterwards that they were seen as research, because then they're like, oh, well, look what happened to a bunch of people, blah, 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 here, and this happened to them, blah, 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 and here's the after effects, blah, blah, blah. Oh, maybe we should do a research on that. Because literally, if you go to school to, let's say, be a psychologist or an anthropologist or an archaeologist, you're going to do a lot of research. Doctors, psychiatrists, nurses, because something's going to trigger in you, and you're going to be like, why isn't anything being done here? And you're going to have to find the research that supports or doesn't support it. We going? I have a lot of those up there. There's so many interesting, weird stuff in the world too. I didn't know that people pay for pieces of the moon, to own pieces of the moon, and that intrigues me because the people they're buying it from don't really own the moon either, but have convinced people that they own the moon so that they can sell pieces of the moon. I mean, so is it, because I would thought when the first time I read one of those, I was like, well, does that mean NASA's selling it? Because wouldn't NASA own it because they were the ones that were up there? But no, it's not NASA selling pieces of the moon. It's corporations who say they own the moon. Because, well, there's no one to naysay that says, no, you don't own the moon. And that's just weird. And how can you sell how can you own land you've never been to? But then we already kind of do that, so I guess that's kind of that thing. Yeah, Roger did that. He got his niece and nephew and my son. I bought one for my son because I thought it was cute. Yeah. They don't own the land. Well, technically, I watched a video on that. You could go there and sit on your little parcel, but it's not going to be much of anything. It's just a little piece. Little piece of land. I get so turned around this game. I don't know why. I'm going to go that way. You'll like having a base on Hellscape. It is a pretty planet. Yeah, it's interesting how they make the pretty planets so deadly to us all. I didn't know about that because, well, I'd have to look at that up. I have a friend that has that. I don't really spend a lot of time researching things that don't directly affect me, which is probably pretty much the problem with our world these days. Is that we probably should research, even in school. Nobody researches things that they doesn't have a direct link to whatever they're doing. It's just there's so much research out there. You spend all your life in the library and never move away from it because there's just so much stuff. What? Maybe if oh no, go ahead and say it. I mean, or that's true. I mean, it's the same for everything. But you're more so, not to be rude or anything. I don't want it to sound rude. This is not sounding rude. But when you're talking about you're looking at research for epilepsy because it directly affects you. That's how we all of us are. And so in school, people aren't spending time looking at things that doesn't directly resent. And then I'll tell you the other sad thing, and I made sure that I wasn't part of this, but the other sad thing is that most people won't look into anything that they feel can't be cured. That irritates me to no end because that a lot of stuff for autism, the research for autism has been backshelved because you can't cure it. So that's why do people want to waste their time on it? They can't make any money if they can't cure it. So that becomes the other problem. I don't know about epilepsy, so I wasn't saying that about epilepsy, but for like depression and other things, the only reason money is being poured into that is because they make money with pills that are supposed to be able to cure you. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I did a research paper on seizures for the direct link to children with autism. There are children with severe autism, which they have found out that their autism isn't as severe as they thought it was. The reason that they're nonverbal is because of seizures that their brain is continuously having, but nobody's recording because they're not showing the symptoms of what would be classic seizures. So I did a whole paper on that. Okay, and you know that. So, but I'm talking from a research standpoint, that's how they label it. There's classic symptoms for seizures that if someone sees it in a hospital would be able to say, oh, because you're correct. That's the problem here. So if you go to the hospital or something and you show these exhibit behaviors, this is how our medical system's set up. So if you show certain behaviors, then automatically you're set as this is what's wrong with you. The problem is then, as you've said, there's no classic symptoms. Same thing with depression. The same thing with schizophrenic. Same thing. There's no classic. There's just ones that you see more likelihood in people, the more common symptoms. So when you don't see the common symptoms in people, they will not be diagnosed with said illness because the way that doctors and psychologists are trained is that they have to look at people and say, do they have a checklist? Do they have these classic symptoms, which we now know there's no such thing as a classic symptoms, but they are reluctant to step away from that, because then that means, how do you know if somebody has something? Because it comes all back around with money, is that a hospital is not going to spend the extra money on one person to find out if that person has problems until somebody makes them do so. So when you have a child who comes in that's nonverbal, nobody's going to go, well, is there something going on in his brain? And that too, insurance is a big factor. But insurance is a big factor for a lot of things, so that also is kind of like, is who pays them, right? It all, well, and again comes back to that concept about money, is that that in our medicine, money is more important than taking care of people in the long term of things, which is just sad. That's all, and it's something we've all experienced, all of us. Because my son was not diagnosed as autism because he did not show classic symptoms of autism, though he did. He just didn't show it in the same way. You have to interpret it. So the research that I did at the time was with children who were nonverbal, and in some cases you had a hard time having any type of communication with them. So I interviewed and researched quite a few parents and children, and then then what we did was we had them be the place that I work for had nonprofited money that went towards having those parents take their children in and having MRIs done, and also the one where they hook you up to record seizures. Yeah, and then that's how they found out that these children were, some of them having one right on top of each other. Thank you. Thank you. But yeah, so they were having multiple mini seizures. They had a different word for them. I can't remember. I'd like to say I remember, but I can't remember. But then, so when we were talking about research, I turned that research in, and one of my instructors said, well, why don't we see if we can get it published? And we never could get it published. Nobody really cared. There wasn't a big interest in it, because they said that it's a parent's job to, say, oh, my kid's having these problems, I want to look into further stuff. And a lot of parents do, but some parents don't. They don't know how to do that, which was my point, was that I just felt like it was, if people weren't spending the extra time to make sure, that they clicked off all the boxes. Now, the thing here is that you have to remember that all those children still had autism. They just also had a seizure disorder on top of it. Yeah, my son was my son had a school diagnosis since he was in 5th grade, 11 years old. But he could not get any outside people to say he was autistic. So it wasn't until he was 18 that he had another psychiatrist look at him, and the psychiatrist go, I don't understand what's going on here. Why are they saying he's not? I said, you tell me. And it didn't, because it wasn't it wasn't going to affect anything in the long-term scheme of things for him in school, and that's all I really cared about. And then when he became an adult, he had to determine what it would be useful for him or not useful for him to have that diagnosis. The only important thing to remember from that is that if you are autistic and you have anxiety, your anxiety will not have a benefit from taking anxiety medicine. That has been, I'd say, for most people, not all people, but for most people, some people have reported that it did help in circumstances that it wasn't supposed to help in, but for the most part, because the anxiety isn't like a true anxiety. It's just more about how their brain reacts to stimuli. So. Yeah. It is a life changer to get a correct diagnosis. Ask Ashenda, right? Especially if she's had the same experience as I have, where people tell you it's all in your head. You know, you're just lazy. Something else is going on. And the reality is that, nope, that's not the case. So getting that diagnosis helps with those people that are telling you those kind of things. Which I have to tell you are professional people. Some of them were well regarded in their field. The ones that I came across that would look at me and say, nope, we can't find anything wrong. You're just crying wolf. Oh, is my inventory full? Oh, it is. Kind of need my inventory to not be full. Where do we have it? What is that? Grilled Guildfall. Let's feed it to something. Or me. And then let's feed it to you. And then let's feed that to you. And then Feely Boy, of course, is talking about our DNA, which has a lot to do with a lot of things, Feely. And there needs to be more research on that. More research. More research. But I just like research. I think even with the mathematical stuff that you have to do to be able to do research effectively, I enjoy research. I wish that was something I could do still. Did you see, I was going to ask you, did you see that the Smithsonian is looking for people to do handwriting? Read handwriting from the Civil War and translate it? It's a volunteer thing. You should look into that. I don't know if they're still doing it, but somebody sent me one and asked me if that was something I could do, and I said, well, I don't have a lot of time. If I had the time, yes, that would be a thing. But it isn't a paid position. It is literally just a volunteer position, which is fine for me. I didn't need to be paid. But I thought that would be kind of a cool thing to do, because if you like history, you'd be able to read about all the different history stuff, from that time period. I'll see if I can find you the link for it. And then I'll post it to you in Discord, and then anybody else that's also interested in that can go. It's not that old. It's probably about 2 or 3 weeks that somebody sent it to me. So I just haven't gone in. Because I don't have the time, so it's not a thing. But I thought it would be great to read those letters, though. Are we geeking out right now? Is this a geeky out thing? Oh, in that case, let me see. Yes. It's true, Feely Boy. True. Yeah, how it is Smithsonian looking for people to read cursive. If you can read cursive, they are looking for you. So, so January 17th is when it came out from it. So I will post it in your thing, and then and this is from directly from the Smithsonian. So you guys can then so it says there is no application. You just pick a record that hasn't been done, read the instructions. It's easy to do for half an hour a day. Yeah, you don't even apply. You just go through their library and pick stuff out, read it, and then, follow the instructions on it and tell them what you've read. That's it. So what they're doing is allowing people to come in, and it says, can you read this cursive handwriting? And gives you an example one. The National Archives wants your help. Anyone with an internet connection can volunteer to transcript historical documents and help make the archive's digital catalog more accessible. And then they give you an example. It says the Revelatory Pension, which I can read most of it. I don't think I can read all of it. Because it says the following is the Declaration of, and I couldn't tell you, James Larson it looks like, but something a soldier, no, Lumburst, a soldier of the Revolutionary War. So, and then it says the National Archives is beaming with historical documents written in cursive, including some that date back more than 200 years. But these texts are difficult to read and understand, particularly for Americans who've never learned cursive in school. Yeah, that's what I was going to say, because I'm teaching my grandchildren how to write in cursive. I just think it's good dexterity thing. And it says why the national, and so it goes on to explain everything. So I will share this link with you in Discord. Is a particular place you want me to put it? Okay. I should let me. It's a long link, so there you go. There you be. If I hear anything else like those kind of things, I'll be sure to share. I get lots of stuff. Somebody's always sending me something. Here, did you know about this? You can do this from your armchair. You can do this. I guess I don't do enough in my life. They are fearful I'm getting bored. We're going to have to find us a fast travel and get back to it. Yeah. That just sounds yummy, don't it? You didn't have to catch real fish. Oh, no. You just had to do, yeah. That was like, how'd you do that, Ashenda, that you didn't catch fish? I'm really intrigued. I just heard it really wrong. You are special, so that makes sense. Well, we all are. We are special. All my friends are special, whether it's in their head or otherwise. I like fishing in No Man's Sky. Yep. I fish a lot in all my games, so most of them are pretty fun. The only one I have to say is Blacktail's a little tricky, but other than that, it's not overly complicated, so it's pretty easy to figure it out. It's just bothersome, I guess, because it is so easy. Okay, so let's see what else we can dump. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was trying to think of what's the hardest game I played in fishing in. Minecraft can be a bit tricky sometimes. But I would think some of those fishing games are, like World of Fishing. Have you played those, World of Fishing? It's kind of like the hunting game. You've seen that one, right? The hunting game, Hunter or something, that has like 3 or 4 different types of hunting in it. Well, World of Fishing is kind of like that. So you have to save money to go to the different places to fish, and then you have certain fish that you have to try to get to. It's a big competition. It's like a fishing competition. So I like the fishing part of it. That's fun. It's pretty realistic, but I do not like the whole have to save my money to go to. It's like the motocross one I bought. I bought this motocross one, and it's kind of the same thing. That you have to, save your money. You go do a race, save your money, and then go to the next race. You go fishing, catch a couple. You have to catch specific kind of fish, and once you catch those specific kind of fish, then you make money because you're a sportsman now, and then you have to go to the other. It's like a weird loop because you have to keep going to fishing exhibits and stuff, and do really good in them, and then you get more fishy stuff to open up and get more, better, why can't I think of it? Better equipment, better bait, that kind of stuff. Yeah, they do that sometimes. Let's go this way. Just go this way. We're just exploring in the dark. Exploring in the dark. That's it. Just exploring in the dark. Watching everybody sleep in the world below. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. And then something happened, and it took you far, far away from your home, and your base isn't enough that you'd be able to teleport back to it if you went into space, right? Oh, because if you don't have that base uploaded. Okay. Because that's what happened to me. I got flung halfway across the freaking thing, so I just went up to either the anomaly or a space station and jumped back to my base. Not leaving it behind to come back and hang out with. Oh, that's true. I just go and visit my bases afterwards. Sure. Okay. I like fishing in real life too. Haven't been fishing in a while. I bought some fishing poles. Was going to go last year and didn't make it. I'm hoping maybe I'll make it this year. I don't know. Because I have to buy a license, Oh. What age is it? That would be great. Here it's a lot older. I didn't know. Well, I can order mine online too. I have to buy. I was buying for my daughter, my grandson, and then Roger. Me and Roger were gonna take them fishing. I haven't got there yet because I got so many other things on my plate. Sometimes I wake up in the morning and I'm like, I don't know how I can get all this stuff done before the end of the day. I get done before the end of the day. Because I'm still in the middle of sorting damn comic books. Because I don't have enough room to pull them all out at one time. So I end up having to try to take some out, and then I forget which ones go where, so then I have to go back through them continuously because my brain is all squishy. I got a squishy brain, Ashenda. Yeah, but even more squishy than normal. It's horrible. It doesn't want to think. I know yours is probably more squishy than mine. Not to be mean, it should. Yours. The cognitive fog is like a thing. I keep telling people. It is like a thing. Of all the things that fibromyalgia gives you, a cognitive fog is like one of the worst. I hate waking up feeling that weird fogginess you get. This is weird. Bizarre. Something like that. Yeah. The tornado. Can you call a ship to you? Hey honey, I'm home. Because you're close to the ocean, right? You don't go down the East Coast and go to the Atlantic fishing? No. Listen to her say, no. Well, I don't know. I haven't fished at either one of them, so I don't. See, because Walt would be really excited by that. I'm telling you, because Walt, you'd enjoy it. Saltwater fishing, it'd be fun. You need to go to Florida. So you could do some Pacific fishing here and do like get salmon and tuna, shark. Pacific Ocean summer fishing. You could also do river fishing at the base where it comes in. There's a name of that. It was there in my head and it disappeared. But at the mouth of the river. But there's an actual name for it where it mixes the fresh water in with the salt water, and you'll get both of the fish, both the fresh water, and then the no, they have a geography name for it. I gotta learn all those terms again, because we have to teach geography. Yeah, I gotta do geography soon. Interesting. Yeah, what did they call that? Now my brain's gonna go, what is that called? Uh-huh. There it is. Estuary. 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 It was floating around in my head. So estuary is the coastal body of water where fresh water from the river mixes with salt water from the ocean, creating a brackish water environment. So, see? Yep. But when you're teaching kids, you have to use both terms. You have to use brackish, and you have to brackish is how they describe the water, and the estuary is the actual geography area. Well, it's just brackish is the correct term for what the water is, because that, like you said, it has a color to it and it has a certain thing and everything. So it says brackish water, the unique water mixture in an estuary. So water, that's the description of the water in it, but the actual name for it you have to use for the geography term when teaching children geography. And they will eventually just call it brackish water anyway, and everybody will know what they're talking about. Because we have terms for things, but then the terms of those things are also have their own geography names. Which is the same thing in science I am learning when we teach science. Or like I'm teaching math. So math has this whole vocabulary that I've been sneakily leaving out because it overcomplicates when you're teaching children who have problems with math. You can always add it later on so that they understand. But I have to now, because they're having problems with understanding when they read some of the worksheets I have. The worksheets will be borrowed from other sites, and they'll be all like, oh, what is this? Well, you've been doing it. I just didn't give you the name for it yet. But I will, I promise. Like distributive property. It took me a moment to remember what that was. I never wanted to be a teacher. I never wanted to. Well, I mean, I wanted to have a classroom, but I didn't want to be per se the teacher in the classroom. I wanted to be the behavioralist in the classroom. But I don't mind teaching. And I got credentials for teaching in every state except 2. And that's just because those 2 states have such a high... You have to have such a high number from your credentialing that you do. You know, the test you take. I think one's Maine. Maybe Rhode Island. It's going to be eastern. They're eastern ones. They're not Midwest. Midwest has a really low. So I have, like, for my credentials, like a 500. And the highest you can get is like a 600 or 700, I think, or maybe it's lower. I don't know, but we just had that. We just talked about that in my classroom, where I was so. So what we were talking about was, okay, so you're teaching children about classification, which I'm not teaching them because we haven't hit that part in biology where you really need classification. We're just doing right now astronomy. So we're learning the solar system. They have a project there. Neither of them have actively jumped into yet, in which they have to do the solar system. They have to create the solar system, and they pass it by doing it, so they can do bare minimal on it as long as they have all the right parts. But they get they can earn a 1 hour certificate so they can get out of doing something else. Because both of those boys just want to get through school as fast as possible so they can do what they want to do, as is normal, okay, for most kids, but even more so for them. They take no interest in learning whatsoever, which is intriguing because they'll go on and watch YouTube videos about the same stuff you're teaching them and don't realize that's what they're watching. But so I was trying to teach him about classification. Is that where because he's supposed to do creative sentences, and he does very plain sentences. I finally have gotten him to realize that he's doing them, because he used to argue with me. Those are creative. I created them. No, that's not quite what I meant. And I said, yes, you are correct in that you created them. They are creative, but that's not what I meant. So, because he'll do like in his vocabulary, cat, noun. I like cats. I said, but that doesn't tell me that you know what the meaning of the cat is. So I want them to use sentences where they're using the meaning. So he did car, and I said, well, when you look in the dictionary, the children's dictionary, it says automobile. So that's what he wrote. And then he wrote, his sentence was, I want a car. Okay, I said, well, okay, first of all, the sentence doesn't say anything that you understand what the meaning of the definition is, and that's a stupid definition. Now look up automobile. So he went and looked up automobile, which then had a better definition, which was a vehicle with 4 wheels, usually holds more than 2 passengers, and could be called a car. And so then, yeah, so that's the actual definition. But he put automobile down, and I was like, duh, yes. So he was all like, yeah, bad jokes are great, whoop whoop. Because Walt's good for good vibes. He's the good vibe man. Which makes him sound like a drug dealer, but, hey. Because Walt, the good vibe man. He loves good vibes. Well, because him and I were talking about, for a while, what was it, 3 or 4 years ago, I sent candles that were good vibe candles because he wanted some good vibe candles with a good vibe spell. All the good vibes because, well, we all need them. Some of us tend to get caught up in seriousness. That being me. Because I have an anxiety disorder that just worries about stuff I probably shouldn't worry about. But yeah, so how I ended up doing it was I said, so look, you have automobile would be the top word, and then human beings can't just, if you say I want an automobile, somebody's going to ask you what kind of automobile do you want, because you can't just say I want a car, because it kind of it's a good discussion point, but eventually someone's going to say, well, what kind of car? I said, so human beings by nature like to get down to an object that fits the most classification. So we were doing automobile, which was truck, bus, van, because the definition stated that it carried passengers more than 2. So, and I said, but there are some cars that don't carry more than 2 passengers. So are those still automobiles? And so then they had to look at the other classifications to determine whether that car is really a car or something else. And they were like, well, it has to have 4 wheels. I said, yes, it has to have 4 wheels. That's the statement in what an automobile is. I said, but you could argue that point that a motorcycle is an automobile, but under what the definition is for automobile, then a motorcycle is not an automobile. That's how you create creative thinkers, of which they cannot really go on to do anything with it. I think you're just employed because you're a great guy, but all good energy is good energy, right? Good energy is the best energy. Good vibe candles are easy to make. Alright, we're done here. Let's move on. Do you guys still have food? I don't remember where I'm going. You don't? I don't remember where I'm going either. I was just seeing if my critters had food. They do. They have food. I love the mushroom. I got a mushroom, dude. He's so cute. I want one as a creature to live in my house. Look at it. Is it so cute? It's got a cute little butt, a little tail. It just, I mean, they're just darling. They make me giggle. That's my good vibe. Following a mushroom guy around. Look, and he's pink. I got a pink one. And he dances when he works. Look at that. He's not really dancing, but we can pretend. We can pretend he's dancing. Alright. What you doing, Ashanda? Oh, I know how much you love that. I don't know. You're doing a pretty good job there. I get really irritated. So I get really irritated with the ceilings. Have you seen the ceilings they give you? You're stupid. Be careful. Those spiraling rocks can all of a sudden become a tornado, even in your own base. Because I was in my base and they pushed me up into my ceiling. They just have, if you get all the stuff, you get cool stuff to build with, but it's not like some of the other places. Alright, so if you're like getting bored with Minecraft, not Minecraft, No Man's Sky and Palworld, Furry Ears World is playing Minecraft and he's building over there. And then I always say their name wrong. Acalia Sapphire is doing chest right now in their very cute foxy little outfit. I've been watching this new anime, well, two, Solar Leveling, which I really like, and then I think made by the same people, The King's Avatar, which is not an isekai or whatever they call them. It is just, it's just a, where you watch these guys who play a video game, kind of like how my life is anyway. But it has it's like a little drama and comedy kind of style. It's just, I think it's like a combination of another world video, because you're watching his character as if it's like in the world, and then not like how they're playing it on a keyboard, and then the world that he's in, so like a slice of life style. So it's kind of a cute little show. I'm not really into those slice of life, so because I was never really into soap operas, unless we talk about things like Buffy Vampire Slayer or Angel, or do you remember 90210? Did you watch it? Were you a watcher of it? Were you? Okay. Uh-huh. He wasn't overly interested in watching those shows. Well, your dad also is older than even like... Because how old is your dad now? Right. And my mom was born in 42. So... You're like Roger. His father was older for the time period. So. So he was being raised by a parents who were actually a generation, you know, 2 generation before. Because my mom was 21 when she had me. What was the generation before the boomers? I don't ever remember the silent. So my mother would be part of the silent. Why? So since you know them, why were they called the silent? I'm pretty sure I read that someplace. I probably could find out. Because we were looking at my grandson asked my son, right? And then my son was all like, I don't know. So we looked it up, right? About what all the different generations were. Like what was his generation compared to my son's. Because they're 10 years apart. So they're actually literally 2 generations apart. Or a generation apart. So we were... Yeah. So they were asking... One was asking what the other one, well, what's my generation versus your generation? And I was like, I don't know. Let's look it up. So we looked it up and read them all off because you have the C generation and you have the Gen X and then you have the Boomers and but I don't remember what silent was. So is Roger. You two are the same age. Yeah. His birthday is in February though. So he's already a little bit older than you. Alright. Because him and my daughter are a generation apart. Yeah, he's a youngie compared to me. He's a youngie compared to me. Everybody teases me on his Unkempt channel about it all the time. I'm like, okay, guys, it's fine. I get it. Let's see. So let's look up generations. So, based on my little AI guy here, though I could look at it in the generation names across from sources. So, the silent generation is thus called that because is named for their parenting philosophy of seen and not heard. Yes, and my mom's, and then Roger's as well, because Roger's dad is from that time period. And then the baby boomers, of course, were born from 1946 to 1965, in which I slightly missed that one because I was not born in 1964. I was born in 1965. So from 1965 to 1980 is Generation X. And then 1981 to 1995 is the millennials. Yeah. Yeah. So my daughter falls in there too. And then, so Gen Z is from 1996 to 2010, which is where my son is. And Generation Alpha, which is 2011 to 2025, is where my grandson is. So in this house we have the Generation X, We have the millennials. We have Generation Z and Generation Alpha. We don't. Nobody in the family is baby boomers, and my mother is the silent generation. But that's because she had me when I was younger. What?
If you go up when your fucking parents were born, both my parents were from the fucking silent generation.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about, because Ashenda's father also is from the silent
Yeah,
generation.
both of my parents are.
She was like,
so yeah.
Her parents were older like yours were.
No.
Because you and Ashenda are born in the same year.
My dad turned 53 weeks after I was born.
53 weeks.
53 weeks after I was born.
Yeah. How old was your father when you were born, Ashenda? Oh. I don't want to know. Leave me alone. Yeah, my mom was 21. My father was 21. They were young, considered young to have children in that time period. So Gen X is this. It says this generation was really intended to be a nickname for the baby boomers. Because the baby boomers is when they actually came out with a name for generations. Because they needed to explain in parenting, kind of. It's used mostly for when you're talking about cultural stuff and how you raise children, how you view the world. So a sociologist needed to have a way to differentiate between the events that were occurring in our timeline, in our historical timeline, versus and in correlation with people being born. So like you have your generation is influenced by technology, economic volatility, and global connectivity, which is different than the others. And then Gen Z is that flip over because they're at the turn of the century. And they were the first generation, right? Not Gen Z. Gen Z is 1996 to 2010. So there's some that are kind of right before it and right after. And they were the generation that uses the internet the most. Like they were brought up using the internet. Whereas the ones before kind of came in it. That's what my daughter always says. Because she has to explain to my grandson, I didn't always have the internet. And he's like, what? I knew Izzy mom didn't because she's old. And then Generation Alpha, this generation is named to indicate that they are not a return to the past. And then the new one is, this generation is using the geek alphabet. Yeah, so now they're starting so that they can go back and start with alpha, beta, and then I guess the next one will be gamma. But I know that the talking point of this is that the terms were created just so that sociologists and archaeologists, when studying culture in the 19th and 20th century, the 20th and 21st century, have a way of talking about cultural events that have occurred. Yeah. I see your thing, King. But yeah, because that was one of the things they talked about in one of my classes I have when they talk about ethics, because one of the things you're required to understand is the difference between generations when talking about ethics of psychology to clients. Because whereas you will have people that come in and cannot talk about certain things because they were taught not to talk about certain things. Yep. Or also at that, the one thing that I remember, I had a teacher that used to say, put on your big girl pants, which is oh, that's interesting.
Cork.
Yeah, I have some out there. Another statement
This is
would
for
also
basing.
Cool. Is that concept of pull up your pants and put your boots on? That's another one I've heard. Because only the big boys do those things. And that's... And that's about, yep, so that you're not supposed to be whining about it. So certain generations, that's a big deal for them. Even when you're trying to tell them it's okay to talk about these things, and they're going, no. Nope, it is not okay. Because they were raised that it wasn't okay. Either because it wasn't okay, or nobody wants to hear it. That's the two statements you'd hear. So that was always my mom's thing. So, well, nobody wants to hear about my problems. I'm like, well, how do you know? You haven't talked to anybody about them. Yeah, most of my parents try to have that conversation with me. I just kind of ignore them. Well, I was going to just say that I was not a pleasant child to raise.
I got my ass beat a lot.
Well, there you go. You too. I know his father was all about that. That's me. That's my major thing. Don't lie to me.
Yeah, but you have to admit, my dad did raise me to be one tough son of a bitch.
Yeah, well, and he taught you other things too.
Yeah.
He taught you some good stuff and bad stuff. That's how parents are.
Yep.
Because we have one or two generations between us, the things that occurred for our parents are not necessarily the things that occurred for us.
Yep.
So they could only try the best they could do and try and explain what the world was like. And it's very hard, even now when we talk about it. Like, if you have, my mother cannot talk to my grandson or even my son very much because of the fact that the internet is a major thing for both of them, and she's not ever on the internet. It's very rare for her to get on the internet, and she wouldn't have any clue if you talked about anything about on the internet. She wouldn't have any clue what you were talking about. Ooh, that's not a good thing. What? That's a new person. The dire wolf level 25. I haven't seen that one. Woo-wee. He's all flaming pretty. Yeah, it's a new boss, I think. Because it's a biggie. It's a boss, like a big dire wolf with two sets of eyeballs. So interesting. Interesting. So it's always interesting when my children will say things to me, and I'll be like, yeah, I remember that. I remember my parents not having a conversation about things. Because we do sex education as well. So, and whenever that's being taught, everybody has something to say about it in my house. How did the barber win the race there, Caswell? He took a shortcut? She likes that one. That's a level 18 Nightwing too. Go away, I don't want to play with you. I could probably kill you, I just don't want to. I'm doing something else. Fly away. Okay. Okay, we are done here. We need to go this way. What stuff do you need? Are we sure? Are you sure that's the case? I'm pretty sure they want you to be able to use it. Come on. I know. They did the same thing with me. I had tons of stuff. Almost done. What do you have left? Uh-huh. Rendezvous point. Cool. You'll be excited. All of us are. Monday, I'm doing No Man's Sky on my Space Monday, and I'm doing some base building on those different places that I have that I got from. Because I left my bases so I could go back to those planets that I liked. So I wanted to go visit those bases in my creative and finish my run that I'm doing. Okay, we're gonna go that way. I want a sentinel ship. I don't have a sentinel ship. How did you get a sentinel ship? Which? No. Which was it? An expedition that you got it from? Yeah, that's an expedition. Oh, you bought it. Oh, is it a mission then? That's part of the story mode. Oh. I was just curious how I get one. Oh, okay, cause Walt's telling me how you get one. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Well, that's the next. That's what I'm doing next. Is that quest. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. That's what you said. I was gonna look into that and see how that worked out. Because you told me that you could do a relax save, and I was like, is there a way to walk that over there like that? Well, we'll see. Because that would be great. Because then I could just use that as my regular. Righty. Okay, so we are. That'd be cool. I'll have to ask you about that when I get ready. When I get done. And you can walk me through how to do that. Because the older I get, the less likely I'm going to be spending a whole lot of time in doing any sentinel or anything like that. The creative I like because as I am not one of these like Barb's Blazes or Alcoholic or anything, or even Cuzwalt, these fabulous base builders, I do like to build the base, and I'd like to just spend time in some like the music boxes. I would love to play around with it. I've never played around with them because you're constantly trying to do other stuff that by the time you get around to having just some free time, it's like, I don't want to play this. I'm going to go play something else. Because that's how I am in Minecraft. I'll just pick up Minecraft periodically because I want to just, you know, build. That's all I want to do is just sit and build. Ark is another one. I missed the building on that one. Conan, too. Anywhere else? Conan has easier snap points than, say, like No Man's Sky. But some of its building, too, is a little annoying. That was the same thing in Ark, though. I mean, Ark, it was you could switch to God mode, which would be what like glitch building is in No Man's Sky. You could switch to God build and make things work and walk on air so that you could get, you know, some of those more difficult positions taken care of. Yeah. Oh, you can just build like that. That's cool. That we have to play that too. I haven't played Uncharted. I don't even. I didn't look at it as. I've got a list of games I have to play though, so. Uh-huh. Cool. I was watching somebody play it. Who was watching play that? I think Camp plays it.
What?
Enshrouded.
Yeah.
He hasn't played it recently.
No, he hasn't played it recently, but he has played it.
Yeah. And then another one is V Rising. Somebody asked me if I'd play V Rising, and I said, no, Ashenda does, though. I said, so if you need to look for somebody that's playing it, Shenda plays it. Oh, well. Miss Sapphire here, or Mrs. Sapphire, or them, Akalia. That's what they were playing today. Well, I figured I'd get all my map done on Palworld, and then the next time I played it, I could just play doing the stuff I have to do for the story. See if I want to finish it or just hang out doing what I do. That happens sometimes. Oh, let's go over here. Oh, did I get this one right? Yep. Well, that's true. This one over there. Beep, 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 beep. It's a shiny egg. It's shining at me. You want to hear some sad news? I don't know if you played it or not. Did you ever play Little Big Planet? Was that something you played? Well, they have delisted it from the PlayStation Store now. All of them.
What?
So, Little Big Planet.
Oh, yeah.
1 through 3. Oh, it's sad. I was like, oh. Oh, I didn't hear the why of it. What was the why of it? Oh, yeah. Well, that's kind of the thing of human beings. Some people will abuse it. Because one of my favorite creators for Little Big was Little Big Planet is Little Big Planet channel. And he still makes fun, happy little... Sometimes he plays some really cringy stuff, but for the most part he does little skits still in his own little worlds that he builds. So, and I'm pretty sure you could probably still play it. You just can't get anything. Yeah, and you can't get any stuff, so... Which kind of sucks again, like I'll keep saying. I can see that. People abuse... Especially stuff that's old, people abuse it, but... So, that was the little guy in there, Stick Baby. Is that Stick Baby? Is that what he was called? No, he was called something else. What was he called? Stack Boy, yeah. Because Stick Baby was a character I created in honor of Sackboy. Because my grandson loved Sackboy. He loved him so much, he had a little stuffy and stuff of him, you know. And so I created a little puppet called Stick Baby. And Stick Baby would get into all these adventures with all his Star Wars toys and stuff like that. So, and at one point in time, we were going to make videos of it, but he just never could get himself, couldn't figure out what he wanted to do. Because it wasn't really something I was going to do, it was something he was going to do. Puppetry I like to do, but I wanted to do little stick puppets, but he didn't want to do stick puppets, he wanted to do something else. So I was like, well, I'm waiting on you. Okay, let's go. Because we're full, I think. Let's go. Well, I could probably move some stuff. Because I just didn't move some other stuff. I don't need that schematic. I don't need it, but it's kind of sad. Because that's like you talk about a generational thing. Woo! There that goes. For those of us who can remember playing. I just recently was playing all the Little Big Planets, but none of them are like one. So even when you play them, because they had that racing one, you can play as Sackboy. That's cute, but still not the same thing. It's such a cute little game. Where is that? Oh, there it is. Do you have a firestorm? You have a firestorm for Ashenda? It's in honor of you, see? But you were saying you were so sad, what? When you heard about it? Well, I know they also, too, no longer updates for their programming one they did. I have it for my PlayStation 4. Why can't I think of it? Why can't I think the name of that? Where you can go in and make your own games and stuff. What's that? Was that what it was? What was that called? Oh, I have it. They came out. And people made games on it. I had some the people that used to play No Man's Sky with me. They went to that and started playing on it. They have a Twitch account too. What do they call it? What they are. Media Molecule. That's the one. It's the name of the studio. So the name of the game. I'm trying to talk to myself here. I'm talking out loud, sorry. It's fun though, because you can actually. It is Dreams. You're right. I couldn't remember what it was called, and you said Dreams, and it sounded like, but then there was another one. But Dreams, you can go in and literally create your own games and play other people's games they created. And a couple of the people that used to hang out with Cobra from the Netherlands, they got together and made quite a few games on there. And they got to go to some conventions and do all kinds of stuff just doing through Dreams. And had a really great time with it. And I was just so excited by it, but then, for whatever reason, my brain could not use the system as well as I was hoping for. So I just never got into it beyond making my own little base kind of thing. And go visiting other people's games. But, I mean, they were like basic little mobile indie games. So that kind of fun. But the controllers, so they had special controllers that came out with it that I didn't buy. And so a regular controller was a little more problematic using. It wasn't like you couldn't use a regular controller. It just wasn't as intuitive. So it got harder to do some of the stuff. Hang on, Coswell. What's the name of that Warhammer that we were looking at? You were looking at that I haven't looked at yet.
Give me 1 second.
Coswell wants to know.
Rogue Trader. It's not that fun.
Rogue Trader, but Roger says that it's not that fun. So
No,
probably
it's not. It's not the type of game that you and I would have fun playing.
Oh, okay.
I can already tell you right now.
Is it a kind of game you and I would end up yelling at each other about?
No, it'd be the lack of fun.
Oh. Well,
Because it's more of a Final Fantasy Tactics.
Oh.
Where you have to play your piece on a board type bullshit.
Oh, okay.
And you're the fucking piece.
So it would be good. It'd be a fun game if you like tactics.
Yeah.
And just by yourself played it.
Yeah. But I can't even stand the fucking game.
Okay. So Roger doesn't like it. I haven't looked at it yet. I might look at it just to say for yay, nay, for sure. But yeah, he says that he doesn't. It's a tactics game. And he's not very interested. Now, I was going to look at, because, well, I have a ton of PC games that I got when I bought one of the other PC Warhammer ones. I think I'm going to try to get it. We're going to look at Vermintide, because Vermintide is more of a fantasy base. So I'm trying to see if he wants to look at Vermintide down the road. 2. I haven't played 1. I know there's 2 of them. Vermintide I have played, so I know the basics to it. So we could see if he wanted to play that.
I have the first Vermintide.
Yeah, I haven't played the first one. I've only played the
Second one.
I've only played 2.
We both have access to Bolt Gun.
I know. I saw that. I don't know what that looks like.
Yeah, I don't know either, so I think I'm going to download that one and see what the hell this one's about.
So he's going to look at Bolt Gun. I want him to look at Vermintide. We can even play. We can look at 1. I don't know if it's.
Well, I have access
Free
to
or not.
1. I would have to buy the second one. I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure.
it was on Game Pass a while back, but. There are a lot of Warhammer games.
Yes, there are.
Some are not very good.
Yes, that is true.
Some of them are not really worth the time or the effort. Like I said, I have like 5 of them on my PC, in my library, and for Steam that I haven't even looked at that we could look at.
Are you 100% sure you own Vermintide 2?
I know I don't own Vermintide 2. I just said I played it.
Okay.
It used to be on the Game Pass for free.
Oh, okay.
But I could look at 1, and if 1 is free for me.
I have it. I already have the first one. I don't know about you. We could figure it out. It's not too expensive. Most of the shit isn't too fucking expensive.
No, but 2 I played, and my only problem with 2 is it is a fantasy-based style, and it's a lot like the gameplay is a lot like the one we were playing, Dark Tide. That kind of warlike style, but you are on you're on a planet, but it feels like an older style planet. It's very fantasy based, fantasy based.
Warhammer Old World.
Yeah.
Okay, it's Old World or it's Warhammer Fantasy, because those two are technically different, but they're the same at the same time.
Yeah, but I played Vermintide. It's alright. It's definitely a game you need at least one other person to play with you.
Yeah.
Because you will be overwhelmed.
Well, I'm downloading Bolt Gun right now. I'll let you know in a bit.
Well, watch a video on Vermintide 2. See what you think. And get back to me on it.
Love you.
Love you. And I'll look at Vermintide 1 and see if it's something I can play. And then see if I have it free on my game on it. I don't know that I do. Well, I could look here, probably. Warhammer hype. And you're probably the only person that watches this that loves the Warhammer there. Ashenda, are you still there? Okay. I was like, it got really, really quiet. Oh, just interrupt. It's fine. We weren't talking about something that was important to you, so you could just say, I'm gonna step out for a minute. I'll swipe by me. What stupid thing? So, when I was playing that, there was a lot of glitches on that where you're standing right on top of it and they're not there. So just be aware of that. Or you get one. That's all you get, which is weird because usually in burials you get more than one, but... Really? Not me. I get 3 or 4. Not during expeditions, though. In expeditions, they tend to only allow you to pick up 1 or 2. No, okay. Inventory is full again. Okay, so much shit. So much shit. I don't need that. Well, isn't that the problem with all of us that have inventory management? We're not very good at the inventory management because we're struggling with the idea that we know we're gonna need it, and they're just trying to take it from us. As we all deal with that, because I'm not the only one that deals with it. A lot of people do. Richard Huntington was telling me about that. Was one of his biggest problems is inventory management, because he just knows he's gonna need it, and they keep taking it away from him. One more bone, and then sheets to go. All right, so we have to. I think I'm gonna go to that one over there, because I have to get it anyway. So we'll just fly over there. Fly, 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 fly. You look tired, little buddy. I'll come back someday and get you, but no, not right now. I know. My daughter was doing that, so I'm done with the cheesecake, as I just helped him make it, and then he was gonna let it cool, and then when I'm done with here, I'm going out and helping him what we're gonna do. So when you make the crust, you have to take the inside out, and I told him what we'll do with the inside is we're gonna layer it on top of the cheesecake when it's cooled, and then we're gonna put melted chocolate on top of that. So you'll still use the inside of the Oreo cookies. And that'll give it a minty. Or my daughter was gonna, she said she might, if she could do it before she went to work, she just might melt them in with the chocolate and then pour it, and that would give it a big melty kind of taste too. I said, whatever. Which ones are those? Oh. Because I got these invisible, like, radioactive, invisible two-leggers as a pet. It was pretty trippy. I want to find a planet like that in my regular games and find one. They're like they're like see-through. You can see through them. Have you seen them? I'll have to see if I can get a picture of them. Pretty trippy. Where's Oh yeah, there's all kinds of variations of those. There's some that spit slime. It doesn't affect you, but it is they release a slime. It's really trippy. And then there's ones that have spikes. So when they twirl, spikes come out of them. What's this one? Yeah. What the hell are you? Brick. Wow, that's a new one. He looks like a person. I don't want to go see things. Oh, those are the freaking gorillas. Are you sleeping? Because I hope so. Because I don't want to hit you. Oh, great. Yeah, that wasn't good. Yeah, we screwed that up. Sorry. Can you say you're sleeping? I'm falling. Well, now I'm falling. I'm not sleeping anymore. It was the gorillas. I had another one that was not. I don't see it now. Must be over here. Let's go see. Cuzwald too, you can ask him what his favorite was. Cuzwald got done pretty quick, like a boomstick. Boom, 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 Joe, there. I just liked exploring the new planets that I didn't see.
Love you, bye.
Love you, bye. Have a good one. Will I make it up? I don't know if I'm gonna make it up here. Should go. Nope. Aha. You have to get bones. The first planet we were on in the expedition had bones. Or that system. Maybe not the planet, not the gas giant, but maybe the system did. Oh, it is behind me. What's that? Fishing was... The underwater exploration was really fun in the new ocean biomes. Those were really fun. I didn't really like the fact that, after Joe explained to me that I could get out of my sub and not be crushed to death, even though that's what it made it sound like. You were going to be crushed if you got out. I like those. That was cool. Yeah, it was cool. Oh, that's cool. Thanks. I learned such new stuff from all of you. I still learn stuff from you. I mean, it doesn't matter where you learned it from as long as you learned it from. I mean, I didn't think that you automatically discovered and figured it out yourself. I mean, sometimes we do, but a lot of times, sometimes we learn new stuff by ourselves. Sometimes I learn some stuff. Yeah. Sometimes I learn new stuff and then I do it and then realize that it's not that new, right? Like you're saying, then you go look it up and then find out there's an easier way to do it. And then I'm like, oh, okay. Alrighty. No. Oh, I only had 3 of those. Cool. Hey, Loop Moon. I have 7 of those, so I don't know why you were excited. You have lots of those. Hey. You are done with this game? What game? Oh. Oh, some expos do trigger you. I tend to walk away for a little bit. Yeah, there are some of those expos. I mean, what was the one that I died the first time was my thing? I said, nope, I'm done with this. I ain't coming back. I couldn't do curse either. It affected my head really bad. Yeah, I'm not photosensitive either, but for whatever reason, that those wavery when the lights came out and they were wavery, it was really hard for me to concentrate on what I was doing. So and then gave me a headache afterwards. I was like, nope, we don't need to play it that badly. I mean, it's just how it is. Sometimes things don't work out, but yeah, because this isn't the first time I've died by tornado. I have died by tornado many times. But the first time was in the fishing one. I had a tornado over the ocean, over the water, and I couldn't get my stuff, and so I was like, I'm so done with that. And then I was like, all right, I'll just go back. It's just an expedition. I'll just go back and restart everything. So, and that's what I did this time too, because Walt tried to help me get my grave on this, and I was just like, nope, I'm not gonna waste. I wasted like 3 hours trying to get my grave back during that fishing expedition, and then I was like, I'm done. So, but most games do that to me now. Oh yeah, because there's a joke between that from him and me. So, because Walt played the expo before me, right? And he was giving me hints, because I allow people to give me hints to help me out. And I'm like, oh no, I don't want to do tornado. And he's like, no, the tornado won't kill you. And I'm like, oh, that's sweet, you know, because I died by tornadoes so many times. I was like overly excited. And then guess what? I died by tornado, and he felt so bad. So he was all like, no, 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 I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But it's just a joke to me because, you know, he was able to get through it. So therefore, because he got through it, he just figured it was that way for everybody. So it's just kind of funny if you think about it. Because that's how we are in a lot of things sometimes. Because if we think, like I say, if I can play the game and not get overly irritated, then a lot of people should be able to play the game and not get overly irritated. But that's not true, because what makes us irritated about things is going to be different for every person. I'm just not finding the... Well, I mean, if your frustration level got really high, because I've had that where I was looking for, in fact, Boomstick had to help me. So during that fishing one, Boomstick had to help me. That's why I said it would be great to know what you said by looking for lithium. But in the expedition for the fishing, I couldn't find a water world when I was bouncing. And he was all like, hey, this is how you find a water world. Because I did something wrong. I can't remember what it was. And so he was telling me how you tell which planets have water world. Because I was missing something in the expedition. And I was all like, oh, cool. And so it doesn't work as well for me as I would say as probably always for him. But it was an option that when you go into your discoveries and you look at the planet, it will show you on the picture of the planet if there's water there, more likely. So you're able to go find it. You'll think you'll uninstall it? Well, that's your option. I have never been that mad at a game that I've uninstalled unless I first started. And it's just, I know it's going to cause me problems to play it. For the most part, I just tend to... Yeah, I think that's me too. But if I have other games I could play, yeah, if I have other games I could play, you know, then I'll play it. Yeah, I'll uninstall it. But I've noticed there's a lot of people that are like that. Will just uninstall the game. They get so mad, they just uninstall it. Ha, see, Cuswell, yep, he's uninstalled COD. Rainbow Siege was that for me. I played it a couple times with some friends, and I was like, yeah, I'm done with this. And they're like, oh no, we love it when you play with us. I'm like, yeah, I can't move forward. You know, another one too that I enjoy playing, but I'm really bad at is that, Call of Duty had a Warzone, I think it was, where they drop in and it was a 3-man like Fortnite. It was fun to play, but I didn't have anybody to play it with, so it was literally frustrating to just keep being dropped in with people I didn't know. So I uninstalled that one. But I like Fortnite's the same way. I played Fortnite quite a bit, even by myself, and then they changed it so much it was really literally hard to play it all by yourself. So, I haven't uninstalled it, but I only bounce in every once in a while to see what's going on and then play it. But since it's free, you could uninstall it and then reinstall it. It wouldn't be a problem, I guess. My only issue is if you buy a game, if I buy a game, like one that gives me problems often on a specific drive. So I bought that game, so I will finish it because I bought it, you know. But yeah, I've had some difficult problems with that game. The sounds is what drives me nuts in that game. Oh, I don't know if you'd love that sounds. Because this thing's creeping on you to kill you, and you're like, ah, where are they? And then when you turn around, they ain't there no more, and it's just, oh, it drives me nuts.
Oh, fucking figures.
What happened? Uh-huh. Oh, well, yeah, you probably have to come in someplace. Yeah, because Wall had a problem on one of his expeditions. I'm sorry, go ahead. Nope, yep, I hate when it does that. So, because Wall and I were playing a game, and he had problems getting it to work. And so he quit for a while on No Man's Sky. And then I had another guy that played VR who played with me, Alcoholic, and he had Beardwing, and he had a problem, and he said that he had to walk away from it for a little bit. So, I mean, we've all had a point where we kind of have to walk away at some point about it. Because there's just, if the game makes you upset, then yeah, you shouldn't play it. You've got lots of games to play, Resident, right? So, you know, just play those ones. And then give it a break. Hey, Resident, thanks. And see, like, yeah, you love those Soul games, but I can't play them. I got quite a few of them, and I can't play any of them. So,
All right, bolt gun's a no-go.
I try all the time. No?
Bolt gun leaves on the 28th, so there's no point.
Oh, yeah, I won't be back by then.
You leave the day after.
Yep. That's what I meant. I will be gone by then. It came out wrong, huh?
Yeah.
What I was thinking is not what I said. I realized that after you said something. Yeah, after he said something, I was like, wait, what are you talking about? It's not what I said. But it was what I said. And that makes sense. Look. Yep, look at my little mushroom guy. He's so cute. Oh. There, he's licking himself now. Actually, he's not. He's regurgitating water to plant. That's it's still cute. Sometimes I'm a weirdo about weirdo things. Well, that's good. I think I can sell that, right? Yeah, it's a selling thing. So let's move that over here. That's food. Let's move that up there. Let's just put just one bone. One more. I was me and the nanites, man. And then because it's all like, you can sell that for 400 and stuff. And I'm like, okay. Let's get that done, okay? Yeah, but I told you, that creature. I had to have the creature. So I spent my money when I shouldn't have. I spent the nanites because I had to have an extra slot to put my creature in. Well, maybe. Huh. I didn't, it didn't show, it showed me under. So, the exact amount under too. So that's why I was like, you're just well loved, that's all. Remember that. You're just well loved. I could have misread it though. You know me. I could have misread it. Okay, so we're here. We're going back here. We'll finish this out. And then the map is pretty much done. And this... Oh, I got this one over here I have to do. So they have these new things in Palworld. Have you visited Palworld? Oh. So I was going to ask you if you knew about the barge oil rig, but I'm going to guess not. So I won't say anything more about them. Because you have not been there, unless you want to know about them. So it's literally like a tower. But they sit in the middle of the water. I think there's more than one of them. And if they're being built, you will get killed by lasers and can't get there. But if they're not being, after they're finished, you can visit them. But they are just, it's like level 30 rain, syndicate barge of an oil rig. And then you have these other really weird, like, I don't know what you call them. They're like mercenary bosses or something that wander around that you get a bounty on and have to go do. So they just added more things to fight, I guess. To fight. Uh-oh. Shenda's having some problems. Oh, yay, you're done. Shenda's done. Forever. Forever. That planet's getting left behind forever. I'm gonna make the dog very excited. Me neither, not really. I just knew people played it, so they'd say, come play with me, and I'd be like, oh. The original games, so COD had original games that were like role-playing games, you know, the ones where you go through missions and stuff. Those were fun. You got to go to space, and you got to be in a tank. They were all fun. He's the emoji king. Bits and emojis. Alright, we're going right along here. Bye, Joe. Have a good one. What is this? There's a creature sleeping here. No? That's weird. It's just a rock. Oh, it must be one of those new crystal rocks. Okay. One of the new crystal rocks. Yay. That's how I felt when I played it. So I played it the other day, and that's all I did was the last little stuff, and I was like, yay, I'm almost done. I'm so glad. Oh, there you are. Who's no meat show? He's talking about fighter. I had to think about who the frick is he talking about? I agree. He's not a meat shield. Thinking about saving some money up and getting Baldur's Gate. Well, I would stream it though, so whether it's a good streaming one or not. I stream all kinds of games. Yeah, well, I just play it like I do all my other ones. I mean, I'm still playing Planet Crafter and Astroneer, though I'm getting closer to Astroneer. I take forever to finish games. Drake. You know, Drake, when somebody starts to say your name more than once, it's time to slow down. How's his, You can be a paladin, I don't care. No, he keeps trying, but it's fine. He can try. I don't care. Don't bother me none. It's always fun to watch people do stupid things. Yeah, he just likes to corrupt good things. I mean, I don't know that Roger would play Paladin. Paladin. I would play a tank and a healer. And I could be holier than thou. But I'm playing right now. I'm playing evil with Blacktail. I'm going completely evil. Yeah. I'm doing it. Yeah, I'm playing the dark path. So absolutely dark path because I can. I feel bad every once in a while. I feed the hedgehogs still. I'm not supposed to. Yes. And the larvae. Because of the ants. You can't kill them? Oh. Yeah, I don't, sometimes I have destroyed them in bits and pieces, and then I've also not destroyed them. You know what I mean? I worship them sometimes, or whatever you have to do, like, you're nice to them. I think Roger's played good characters, so if Roger can do it, I'm sure Resident Drake can do it.
What?
Have you played good characters in D&D? Like being a good guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Bugbear
Yeah.
was a good guy.
See? Well, because Resident Drake apparently has a bad habit of playing a paladin, but then ends up evil. Because he can't make good choices to be a good person because he wants... Because it's like he talks about wants to be a heretic. He just can't make the right choices to stay holy.
No.
He's like a fallen angel.
No, I can't say much. Fuck Fable 2. The only reason I was only ever holy is because I paid the church off.
Yeah, so... Just embrace your nature, Resident Drake. It's fine. Roger was saying the only reason he was ever holy in Fable was because he paid the church off. But then just admit to being evil and let it go. You know what the problem here is.
It is so much more fun playing evil than it is playing good.
Well, that depends on the game. I mean, some games playing good will give you better rewards than playing evil.
Yeah. Long-term benefits versus short-term benefits, huh? I didn't know we were playing Bioshock 2. I mean, hell, still to this day, I still cannot get the one freaking achievement for saving every single little sister in Bioshock 2.
Oh, yeah, I can't either.
Because I always sacrificed the first little sister to get more atoms so I could buy the shit I needed at the beginning of the game.
I just couldn't find them all.
Oh, I've always found them all.
Yeah. Only the ones that are needed for the game have I found. I'm sorry, Shenda, what were you saying? Because he can't hear you, so he doesn't know when you're talking. What were you saying? AC games. You were saying about we were talking about playing evil. And you said you play chaotic good. Mm-hmm. Hello, Moonslayer. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Reminds me of that. Do you remember? Yeah. Reminds me of... Yeah. That's cool. Who's dorky? Oh, well. Tell him it takes one to know one. And you know, so I have this issue though with Drake. He keeps saying he wants to be this holy great. Why doesn't he just get a god that's evil and then he can play an evil paladin? One of my characters I played in Pathfinders was a witch hunter who was a vicious bitch whose goddess was hell. So you just play evil that way. I don't get this whole, why are you trying to be like, why have a god that's, you know, holy when you know that's not how you're going to be able to play? Yeah, that was the same. Mm-hmm. Seems like a good answer. Okay. Yeah. He just, if you're looking to play characters that reflect yourself psychologically, then, and you feel bad because you're evil, then make better choices. Hey, Moonslayer, you haven't played this yet? It's pretty fun. I'm just doing exploration. I'm not really good at the whole capturing and fighting and stuff like that, but I do like the exploration in this game, and I like the ability that you can do breeding if you want. And the building's fun. Yeah. Shame. Why? He doesn't like the idea that you kick the thing in and that was the way we went with it? That's a quill. Okay. Don't know what that was. I'm sure he I'm sure he deserved it. I'm sure he deserved it. Yeah. Game. Yeah. Right. No, I get it. I mean, you just need to know your character really well, and you have to know yourself as to what kind of characters. Because Roger was saying he played a good guy, and some of his characters I would say are pretty neutral. Even if he's started out like chaotic something, I think he probably runs a lot more neutral, or extremely evil. Because like he said, it's more fun to play as an evil person in these kind of games, because you're not getting too much negativity like you would in real life for being a rotten person. Well, some people do, and then some people like I like kind of a, I don't know, probably I lean more towards evil. I'm more like the anti-hero. I would do good things for other people or myself for selfish reasons, right? But I don't necessarily always play good. Because it doesn't, for me, it doesn't have the same ramifications as you get in real life. I think the argument you have to, when we're talking about that, like, let's talk about, like, in real life, the argument would be is that, is it alright to steal from someplace to take care of somebody who is sick or poor? Now, if stealing is just against the law or against moral code no matter what, then yes. No matter what you're doing it for, it's a bad thing. So if you kill somebody to protect other people, it's technically still a bad thing. And you will have to pay with whatever soul your entity, your deity will say. But you did it for a good reason, so it should balance out in the scales of things. Because that's the problem with people in morality. Well, yeah, there wouldn't be any reason to be a paladin, and you wouldn't carry a weapon. Because if the argument was that you have a weapon just to protect yourself, in protecting yourself, you may possibly accidentally kill somebody. And then at that point, the question becomes, is whose life worth more, yours or the other person? But if you are charged on taking care of other people, then technically their life is not worth as much as yours because you already have a morality job that your entity has given you. In just in D&D or in most video games, because that's we have in our family huge discussions about morality versus what is right and wrong, because there is a difference between what you morally think is wrong and right to what is actually a society dictation of what's wrong and right, and on either side that can go good or bad. So, like, I don't think it's okay that people hurt other people for any reason. But then I also know realistically, at some point in time, you're going to end up hurting somebody and may not even mean to hurt that person, but do so in helping someone else. So, well, it's just like you talk about your own morality. Everybody has different ones. But that's the question. We don't know if he's really good in real life. He might be a nice guy, but doesn't necessarily mean he's good. Just the same way as I might be a nice person, but that doesn't necessarily mean I make good morality choices. They're not really something you're going to share, online with somebody. Because I've stealed before, I've stolen stuff, especially when I was younger. And I've also done the whole, I stole, pacifiers and diapers for my child. Because I didn't have enough money for them. Them things are expensive.
That's why my parents always used reusable diapers.
I've sold formula. Not for myself, because my baby didn't do formula much. And then I've had friends that have done the same thing. And all of us at some point in time may have lied to a person of authority. Or speed. It's because Warhammer universe is crazy. It's a crazy universe. Because they're all weird in that. Under our own standards. AC games. What are we talking about AC games though? What are we talking about? Playing evil and good people? But from our interactions with him, he seems like an upstanding kind of guy. But the question then becomes, does he want to be an upstanding guy, or does he want to be seen as a wicked, evil person? Because some people want to be seen as, because they equate evil as being strong-willed. I can stand up for myself. I have made some choices that aren't really great, but it's evil in some games is. Yeah, I've played evil, like Fable. I've done Fable as an evil person. Yeah. Yeah. They're pretty fun games. Mm-hmm. Oh no! Ashenda had an Xbox for a short time. Shh, don't tell anybody. Mm-hmm. That's interesting. However, he had an Xbox too. We all know the secrets here. That's all. That's the only thing Roger will use is Xbox. He started out with PlayStation though. Nintendo.
Well, technically, I started with Atari.
Atari, yeah. Well, a lot of people started with Atari.
Then Nintendo.
Okay, Senda had a Tandy.
What?
My first computer usage was at school, so I didn't ever own a computer.
School.
I went to college in 1991. I started doing computer programming, and that was my first introduction with computers and software. Yeah. And interesting, my first computer was an Apple. When they first just came out, the school had Apples, and that's what they were running all the desktop publishing. That was my certificate I was doing. That was what they were all running, was on the Apples only. I had to take a class in Unix, and the Unix was only running. They were only running them on IBM machines, so that was my introduction to what my first words was on an IBM machine. I know, because I had looked at getting one, but then I just never got one because I didn't have the money. I lived on the poor side of the street since I was 16, so I didn't have no money. What's because Walt feeling bad about? He doesn't know computers. Yep. And he doesn't have a PC except for work-related PC. So he doesn't have any experience with PCs either. So... Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I bought a Game Boy. For myself and my daughter, we bought one. We bought two for me and her, and then for me and my son when the Game Boy Advance came out. That's true of most parents. Yeah, you have to first you have to qualify that what you mean by rich. Like, what are you looking at? What represents rich? I came from an upper middle class family. We had 2 cars. We didn't have a pool, only because my dad didn't want to rip up the yard to put a pool in. And he said, why get a pool when you should just go to a public pool? Or we could go swimming in the lake. We don't need to you know, rip up our yard because we sat on 1/4 of an acre, and he was very happy with his yard. But we went on, we did all the traditional middle class family stuff. We went on vacations, and we went camping. We went camping a lot. What's Kissimmee? Well, interesting. I must mean the other ones. Kissimmee? I've heard of Kissimmee. So that explains it. Oh, interesting. Well, that makes sense. We have a town here called Yahats, but they have T-shirts of every way that somebody has mispronounced it. Ya cats, ya chots, ya hats. So I'm not even a northerner. I'm just a West Coast girl. So I wouldn't know. Yeah. I wouldn't know. I only go by what you tell me. Yeah, well, I have a hard time with a lot of Oregon names because I'm not from Oregon, so I always have to have people tell me how it's like Willamette. Willamette, I had to keep saying over and over so I get it. Yahats. Silo. Silo. How does everybody else say it? I guess I'd have to see it. And then I could give a, and then I would just make a assumption based on what I saw. Nantucket's another one too. I think I pronounced that one incorrectly. I think that the people that live in Nantucket pronounce it differently. And a lot of Alaskan ones too. That's another one too. They have one in Ireland, Idaho, by that name, and I can't remember to say it. What are you putting in there? Oh, okay. Let's see. Ikatakani. That's how I would say it. Ikatakani. Yeah, so that's the one I have a hard time saying because, well, every time we pass through that, because I passed through it 4 times now, I still have a hard time saying it. I knew it was French, though. But unless I heard somebody say it, I can't say it because I don't do French. So, but yeah. Uh-huh. Interesting. Interesting. They all pronounce things really weird. I have a hard time, though, with my processing disorder pronouncing anything. I have to do it very phonetically. So that's why when I looked at it, it was ik, That's how I saw it. Is that what it is? Yeah. I don't know if I'd get the itch part out of it. I would have got it more like a California ick. Ick. So I say it right. Ick. Ick. Knee. Ick-a-knee. Oh. See, now I'm all now I'm all lost. Thank you. Uh-huh. Yeah. I can say lazy. That's cool. Have you been able to deal with getting outside? Because I know you and I talked about that. That was kind of a problem you had with one of the medications. Because my nephew has the same problem with one of his medications. And they changed his medication so he could go outside more. It worked on him too, but his mother just asked because he couldn't go swimming or nothing. About what? Oh. Oh. And he shot it and then they got mad. We all do weird things sometimes. I am sure he has forgiven you. Oh. Well. And living in a small town. Roger likes living in a small town too. We don't live in a small town.
I grew up in a small town.
But you like living in them too.
Hell yeah. Less fucking drama.
And Shindo says she likes living in a small town too. Can't get it. Please. I don't want that. Thank you. I'll never use that. I don't know. I don't mind living in a small town, but I like going to visit big towns. I don't want to live in a big town. I used to live in a big town. I lived in Sacramento. And then Redding was kind of bigger. Oh. You've never lived... Oh, yeah, I lived in Sacramento all over it. I was... Where I grew up was considered a small town outside of Sacramento, but all over Sacramento. All the different pieces of it. I have been in downtown... other places, so I always wanted to live in yeah, it requires kindling, but is it just that they have to? How do you get that activated? Well, I thought that was... I had 25 in my graduating class. Not because I went to a small town, but I lived in kind of a little small... It wasn't that little, it was just that it was a small high school. It was a continuation high school. And all those people were the leftover people who hadn't graduated from regular school. Or, like me, it cut a whole year. I cut a whole year out, so I had to make it up so I could graduate on time. So I had to go to I had to go to a little school, which allowed me to do extracurricular activities to make my schooling up. Which was where I learned that you don't necessarily have to have the same regular ed that most people have, and you can still graduate and go to college, as I did. So, well, because that's the myth they tell you, is you have to do well in school. If you don't do well in school, you're not going to be able to go anywhere else in life, and it's not true. You can't. It's easier if you do it the traditional way, because the whole thing's set up that way, but it's not impossible to do what you want to do, even if you didn't graduate from, or even if you didn't graduate. I mean, nowadays, you can still go to college, even if you don't graduate. You have to probably do a 2-year first, and then go, but that's plus and negatives to all that, too. Mm-hmm. I helped a lot of kids that have their GED and then they went on to become doctors, lawyers, nurses, welders, all kinds of stuff after they'd been told that they'd never, really be able to do much of anything because they messed up. Okay. Just put. I don't need that either. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so up we go. Up we go. Up, and away. Okay, so I'm probably going to be finishing this out real quick, and then I'm going to be quitting. I'm sure Ashenda's quitting now. She's going to raid somebody. Just because I've got some stuff I want to do. Like, sort my comic books. I'm trying to get that done. I'm still halfway through it. So I want to be able to do that and still do my other things. Like I said, I do writing on Saturdays, so I want to be able to. Alright, everybody. Over there on Ashenda's Chitty Chatty. Talk to you later. Now remember, I will not be on for 2 weeks. For Saturdays. Next time we do our fun time together will be, the 15th of March. If we're all feeling good. All right. Not me. I'm still here. But I gotta take your thing off because I'm already in hers. So she looks so cute. That little outfit looks so cute. All right. Well, are you leaving now? All right. You have a good one, and I'll chat with you in Discord. Goodbye, my heart sister. Love you. Alright, so I'm still here for a little bit, and I'm going to finish this out, and then I too am going to be jumping out. I will be streaming tomorrow. Tomorrow my stream times will be, I'll be starting a little later, probably about 1 o'clock or so. I don't think that Roger and I will be streaming together tomorrow. I don't think there will be any Warhammer, unless I look at some of my Warhammer that I have going on. Just for the fact that I need my controller's been being wonky here. Though I'll see how he's feeling when I get home. Maybe if he's feeling fine and my controller continues to keep doing what it's supposed to do, him and I will... Look, I'm going sledding on a bird. Whee! Maybe him and I will do that. I'm not sure what else I would be playing, though. What else could I play tomorrow? I might take a look at... Oh, Pacific Drive is what we're playing. Tomorrow. So tomorrow we're doing Pacific Drive sometime in the late afternoon. That's the stream that's what we're gonna be doing. I have Promise Coswald. That's what we're doing. And I need to get back to the game anyway. I've been avoiding the game just because I have a hard time with the game. I've been avoiding the game because I have a hard time and the sounds just make me very anxious. So, which is what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to make you feel anxious. So it's not like it's a default of mine. I'm sure some people it doesn't make feel anxious. In fact, I'm sure Roger could play it and be no problem.
What game?
Pacific Drive. The sounds in it make me anxious.
Ah.
So I have a hard time because I just feel like I have to hurry up, through it, or I'm gonna die and have to do that whole thing all over again. So it's one of those kind of games. I have a hard time with games like that where I start to feel very anxious because I don't want to do the same thing 15 times over because of some stupid thing I did.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you could play well. I'm sure Cuz Walt could play it well.
I love you.
I love you. I'm sure Resident Drake could play it well. My kids can play it well. Alright, so we've got that all covered. We can go down here. And then that's it. I got everything except maybe this little piece. So we'll cruise that way and cover that part. So once I've got the map pretty much all taken care of on this, then I was going to start working on breeding. Get my bases up and working on breeding. So, which is kind of like making food in No Man's Sky. I feel like. But maybe not. Ooh, I don't want you guys. Thanks. I have some of you. Oops. Well, there we go. Well, there's an egg hiding here. Can you imagine? That's a huge one. Okay, I want that one. So what do we have to get rid of? Because I'll get rid of it. I swear I will. Cool. Okay, so we're there. We need to take this turn. We're going this way. Whee! Up and above. I don't want to go down. And get that. I'm pretty sure that's a chest too, right there. Let's see. So yes, I will be streaming tomorrow. I'm going to be streaming Monday. Monday is going to be No Man's Sky. I'll be streaming Tuesday evening. Tuesday evening will be art and art and Legos. I got some new Legos to start. And then we'll not stream Wednesday, or if I do, it'll be a game. And then Thursday, we're going to start making that the reading the comic books and journaling, chunk journaling. I got some stuff I want to show you guys how you can recycle stuff and do it and make journal cards. So I'm gonna do that Thursday. And then Friday, I might stream Friday evening, but it'll be like Friday afternoon because I have to get up early Saturday morning. And we're going to Yuba City first. We're going to spend the night in Yuba City at my daughter's sister's house. The other sister by the other mistress. The other sister by the other mistress. And then we're going to head to Carlsbad, which is where Legoland is, on Sunday. And then we're going to be there Sunday night, Monday, Tuesday, and we'll leave on Wednesday to go to San Francisco. We're going to spend the night in San Francisco after going to we're going to spend the night there, do the Exploratorium, and then we're going to head to Redding, California. And then in Redding, California, we're going to just visit some old stomping grounds, take my other daughter and my grandson, who has not been there. Well, they were there last time we went when we did the camping stuff, but we didn't go much. We stayed at the lake because it was at the end of our journey. This time we have a hotel for 3 days, and we will let's see, for 3 days we have a hotel, so we're with a pool. a heated indoor pool, so kids will probably be hanging out there. What are you asking? Which missions? Are the missions timed? Yes. So in you're talking about in Pacific Drive. Yes, they are. They're not. It's not that they're timed. It's that after you get the things you need for the there's these certain resources that you get, and once you get those certain resources, that you start the gate. Once the gate is open, it's timed. I can drive just through it and not pick up any resources, but that's kind of pointless at that point. Oh, I'm heavy. Come here. I need to ride you, and you're not coming to me. Come here. Come here. Come here. You're being a bad bird, thank you. Because I'm heavy, and you're heavy now. We're all heavy. Everybody's heavy. We're looking for a... Oh, it's right by me. Where's it at? Or heavy, heavy. They've changed this where you used to be able to fly on your bird even when you were heavy. Because I got the egg. Because I got the egg. That's why I'm heavy. But I think up here there's a... There is. But I'm going to have to get rid of something. So what are we getting rid of? An egg. You have to get rid of an egg. We can get rid of that. That would probably help. I don't have a shotgun, so I can get rid of the ore. Would probably help too if I got rid of that. I don't need that. Oh, that helped. Yeah, it's a little better. Alright, we need to go up though. Need to go back. Up and back. So it's not that they're... We were talking about the time missions. It's not like they're timed about that way, but they are... There's a certain thing you're supposed to be doing. Okay. You're supposed to be getting materials to build... Like any game, you have to pick up certain types of materials to build certain things that are going to then put you... into the next bracket, and then the next bracket is going to move you towards the end of the story. So I have to do these certain types of missions to pick up those certain type of things to create certain types of equipment to be able to continue through to the storyline. So that's where it's at. And I get very anxious with the sounds and trying to finish it. So I'm going to look up... I have to figure out how to get to the other... And it's in 3 sections. So I have to figure out how to get through the 3 sections. I don't know how to get through the sections. To the next section. I need section 2. Look, there's my little mushroom guy and his tongue. You're so cute. What are you barking about?
Feather just got yelled at outside.
Who did?
Feather.
Oh. Was Feather barking or something?
Yes.
Well, that Feather... Because Feather's funny. She doesn't usually bark. She don't usually bark. So that is the only reason. But we're gonna have fun because I enjoy the game. I really like the game. It's just highly frustrating. And I'm thinking now there's probably was at some point there was probably I could have done the game on easy mode and didn't realize there was an easy mode because it's not very... The whole setting thing isn't described well to me. This is a large frozen egg. A penguin? I don't know. A foxesicle. I have 2 of them now. So we can... What's this one? This is a huge... What do we think's in it? Ooh. I have 2 of those too. Interesting. All good for breeding. Here's a huge damp egg. That might be a penguin. Ooh, no, it's one of the flying swimming ones. Flying swimming. One of the water ones. Large frozen egg. Wumpo, I have 2 of those. Cool. Another large. I don't know why that large. So they've changed their eggs. They have colors to them, if you notice. They didn't used to do that, but now they have colors to dictate. So if you have a large egg, so that's a frozen egg, but it's an uncommon one. But then they have different colors to them, so you can get a blue and a purple. I don't know why that's a universal color for video games, but for some reason it's a universal color for video games. Chill it. I have well over 12 of those, so uh-oh, everybody's upset. So then, like, here's another one that's a common one. So possibly another chillet? Nope, that's a Raindrex. Some of your eggs are giving you better, but I noticed that there's not... The dragon eggs still just give you the same one. See, that's a regular damp egg. Nothing special about it. Those are the penguin ones. Yep. Pengullet. Nothing special about it. I got lots of those too. I have to go through and clean them out. That's a large frozen egg. But not a special one. Because it didn't have a color to it. So it's a foxesicle. I like the foxesicle. So it's our last one, which I think is probably a uncommon. So it's an uncommon egg, but not large. Chillet. Raindex. I guess Raindex comes out of that. Alright, well, there we go. So sit here and watch my mushroom guy. So, alright, I'm out of here. I will catch you all on the flip side. I'm not going to do a raid today, Al, but I will see you guys tomorrow. Unkempt is live. Everybody should go by and see. We'll do a shout out from Al. I don't have anybody here, so. Just Feely. I'm sorry, Feely. I have Feely here, but that's it. It's just me and Feely. Me and Feely. I'm pretty sure. Though maybe because Walt is floating around out there. That's not what I wanted. Yeah, that's what I wanted. Okay. Alright, I spelled that wrong. Spelling's been the problem lately. I'll see you like tomorrow, Feely, maybe. So, everybody showed up. Thank you. I'll catch y'all on the flip side. Peace.
I love you.
I'll give him a shout out. I love you. Greetings all. Shardvixen here with...
Oh boy!
And we're doing some Minecraft. We are getting ready still to build our...
It's about I got your iron. I got your iron. I saw it through the
You got
wall.
my iron? We're
I
trying to
saw it
build
through the
our... Get
wall.
ready to build our castle.
I
So...
saw it through the wall.
What are you giving me? Stop giving me things. You're just supposed to do your stuff. What is your job in the castle making? Do you remember? Do you remember what your job is?
I wanted to...
Did you steal my iron? You did.
I saw it through the wall. I
That's
saw
what you
it
were saying.
Look, I saw it through the
Uh-huh.
wall. Look,
Dogs are barking.
I know you... I don't...
Hey! Trago! Trago, come. Trago, come.
Hey, there's a dead sheep.
Okay, what is your job? I gave you a job. Do you remember what your job was?
No.
Okay, your job is to decide, after I decide the boundaries, close the door behind you so the creatures don't come after us.
They're called mobs.
Yeah, so the mobs don't come after us, alright? So here's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to build a cattle. Did you steal my food that I'm making?
No.
You did.
No, I didn't.
Oh.
I was trying to make...
You can keep the iron. That's fine.
I didn't make that... Oh, no, I wanted that... I don't know what to get. I pick it so the iron sword.
Okay, so here's the deal.
I think it's-
Listen. You are the rancher, the animal keeper, the stables. You need to build fences near here that will have cows and sheep in them so we can get wool, right?
Oh, yeah, I can make a scene.
Pigs for food if you want.
I'm gonna make something so we.
You need to not get in my way,
What?
though.
Door. I know makes. This is gonna be where I cows are supposed to be.
Okay, milk. We can have milk.
Oh God, there's a quick book.
Yes, close the doors and stay away from the sides. We don't need them blowing us up.
I can kill this.
You can go. No. You can go down and mine. If you're gonna kill the creeper, you need to go. There's a secret way out. Do you want to know where it's at?
Yeah.
Remember, near your maze. Yep. No. Go back. Turn around. There you go. You can go down there.
I've never seen this.
No, not that way. There's another way. Go back up. There should be a door up there. Oh, we can make a back door.
Well, you said there's a secret door. Maybe it's down here.
No, it takes you to the canyon that's behind the house, but it's not the secret area.
Where is the secret area? Entrance. I saw we had a secret.
This is just our work shed, dude. Our work shed. That's all this is. So,
Well, it should have a secret entrance.
well, then make one.
This is probably the secret.
You can make a secret entrance into the
Why am I Alex?
I don't know. You could make.
Wait.
Here we can go to sleep. You could make a secret entrance.
That's my
in-
bed. Wait, the characters mixed up on my screen.
Did you go to bed?
Look at the
The
character
bed
on
is
my
occupied.
screen.
You can't sleep on my bed. Get in your own bed. Okay, so here's the deal. Listen,
Yes, we
you could make a secret passage to the stable. What am I hearing? I don't know. We're hearing something.
There was a bunch of zombies outside, I think.
Well, I won't be there for long. I'm making a trip to the desert
The
to get
creepers,
sand.
by the way, the creepers don't burn. Creepers don't burn.
Okay, did you hear me?
Yeah.
I trust that you will do what you're supposed to do and not cause problems, okay? I'm gonna go get sand.
Here I didn't make my secret passageway. It's
You
down.
can. Okay, look. So if you make right here, attached to this, make a stable right here, right? And then you can make a secret. Well, I would make it over here. Then you can make a secret entrance into.
What's damaging me?
thing. I don't know. Something. Turn around. And look.
Hunger!
Don't eat that. Yeah, that'll make you sick. Where am I at?
Okay, I didn't
To
make.
get sand.
This is
That's
gonna.
what I need.
This is gonna be where the cows are placed. I'm gonna make a sign. I'm gonna make a sign that says for cows.
For cows.
Yes.
I hate when you make signs because they stop me in mid-tracks, and if there's something that could get me, that's not good. So I'm gonna do resources.
Moo.
Yeah. So I'm gonna make resources.
It says moo.
It does say moo.
Actually, it doesn't end with a double.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what to do with my iron. It's do I make a diamond iron sword? Do I make an iron pickaxe?
What are you?
Do I make an
jibber-jabbing
iron
about?
sword or do I make an iron pickaxe?
You make whatever you want. Okay.
I'll make a.
Oh, what's this? It's a hole.
I'll make an iron sword.
Why do I have a hole right here? Let's see.
I'm gonna make an iron sword, is mom.
Oh, it's a canyon. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay. Well, that's kind of problematic. Let's look over here.
Where is the canyon?
Back behind me.
Where is you?
I'm headed off towards looking for sand. I told you.
There's some beaches where
Yeah, this way.
Where's
I'm
your name
going to the
tag?
beaches.
Where's your name
I
tag?
don't think we have